Hello, everybody. I'm here to give you a briefing at the agent level about College of the Canyons. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about is applicable at other California community colleges. And the 2+2 program I'm going to talk about is certainly applicable in many other states in the United States. So I think this is going to be a really good briefing for you. College of Canyons, located in Santa Cruz. It's in Southern California. It's one of over 72 California community college districts. And there are certain characteristics that make College of Canyons stand out. We'll talk about some of those as we go. So here's everything we're going to cover today. We're going to cover about the college here, and we're then going to cover sort of about how I support agents to make sure that you're successful, because if you're successful, I'm successful. So the first thing we'll talk about is some location. We're in Southern California, as I said, in a place called the Santa Cruz Valley. It's very clean. It's very beautiful. It's not your typical city. There's 250,000 people in Santa Cruz, but you'd never know it. Virtually no tall buildings. It's a very suburban area, master planned community, and very safe. Here's some pictures. You can go through these later. We won't dwell on them. Pictures of the campus. It's a great campus. It's a beautiful place, and it's really good for students. So that's a little about the location. That's probably the least of your technical needs, because you can get pictures and brochures and things from the other documents we've sent. But a key thing is that it's a safe place to be. And that to us is one of the most important messages to parents. So now let's talk about sort of the style of instruction and support. So College of the Canyons uses a program called Canvas. It's an instructure.com program. We use this for every class. Now, some classes at College of Canyons meet in a classroom, 3 times a week. And some classes are 100% online, where you never meet with the teacher, but you meet on a chat board and you're constantly exchanging ideas and turning in assignments and talking to your professor and your classmates on that chat board. And then there's classes in between. There's hybrid classes. Hybrid classes meet a few times a semester, and the rest of it is online. And then there's what's called Zoom Live, and that's where the classes meet on Zoom. That's something I think students have been hearing a lot about lately, especially over the last year, is those Zoom classes. They work out really well, but the whole thing, no matter what, is on this Canvas structure. All the information the student needs, access to assignments, grades, turning assignments in, communicating with other members in class and things like that, that's all done on Canvas. And it's a really good program to learn from. It's not like online like you think of it from the old days. It's accessible throughout the world. So if you do have students, and we may talk about this some more, if you do have students that want to start studying before they even come to the United States, they can do it using Canvas because it works anywhere. The other part of support structure is living. So we have 2 different ways that students live. One is they stay with a family. That's a college family, usually somebody who works at the college. It's all set up by Andy. We take care of all of that. Or you can get an apartment with roommates. We know where the apartments are. We can provide advice about apartments. We can look at lease agreements for students. Most of the time what happens is the student's here for a few months. He gets to meet some people and says, hey, I'm going to go get an apartment with my friends. No problem. It costs about the same as a college family overall, but there's more freedom. So the cost for a college family or for an apartment starts at about $1,500 a month. That includes food, transportation, insurance. It's pretty much everything else except for tuition. We'll talk some more about tuition in a minute. So we talked about style of instruction. So now let's talk about this 1+1+2 program very briefly. We've seen a lot of students start studying before they even come to the United States. They can do that. They can take one class, or they can take their entire freshman year at their own pace. Or they can come to College of Canyons. Our campus is open. We're in our offices every day. Lots and lots of classes will be in-person classes in the fall, so I don't think we're going to have any issues. The way that school is set up in the United States is the same as a lot of places, but really you've got primary and then you've got secondary. That's your high school and your junior high school. Then you move to the bachelor's degree program, and that's where it splits off because there's associate degrees that students can get at junior colleges and at community colleges. Now, I think we would all agree associate's degree is probably not worth the money. I totally get that. And so for international students, the best route is to start at a community college and do 2 years, the first year and the second year, then transfer to a bachelor's degree and do 2 more years, the junior and senior year. Then they can move on to a master's degree, or if they're going to be a professional, they can move into dentistry or medicine or law or whatever they want. And that's how the system works. Millions of students are doing it, but it's something that's a new idea for international students because the word college means something different outside of the United States. In the United States, college is the same as university. We rarely use the term university in the United States. Where are you going to college? Harvard. Where are you going to college? Stanford. That's how people talk here. In the rest of the world, college is a institution that is not as ranked as high or doesn't provide as high of a diploma as a bachelor's degree student, as a university, as a bachelor's degree school. So that's mixed in California. In California, the first 2 years are the same no matter what school you go to. Then you move to the next school and then everything changes. Depending on what school you go to, it can be a very rigorous program. It can be a very popular program. It all depends. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I think 2+2 could be a story all on its own. So here's another example, the 1+1+2 pathway. I think you get it, but this is for your reference later. This is how it works. We're noticing a lot of students are having trouble getting visas. So this has worked out really well for them because they haven't had to stop. They slowed down a little bit, didn't take a full load. Maybe they went half-time for the first year. And now they're going to come to College of the Canyons, go full-time, and then they'll transfer, and it'll work out really well for them. So let's talk about this transfer I keep mentioning. So the transfer protocol is automatic. It's a visa transfer through the I-20. It's very common. It's not complicated. And we help with all of it at College of the Canyons. So first of all, a lot of students will ask you, what am I going to study? And so the answer to that question is pretty simple. The first 2 years, you're a freshman and sophomore year. Those first 2 years, they're, like I said, the same at every school. It's general education that everybody has to take, and then major preparation. So that's the things that a student needs to take in order to prepare for their actual major. It's the same no matter what school you go to. Then you transfer in the 2+2 and you do your major classes your junior and senior year, a little bit of general education. And so you can do that all 4 years at one school. That's very common. There's 1,000 schools to choose from. Or you can do the 2+2. So why you choose 2+2 depends on what your end goal is. And we can talk about 2+2 all day long. So we can come back to that maybe in another presentation. There's other presentations about it available on YouTube from College of the Canyons by me. So that's something you can explore later. So what do you transfer to? So, all right, so you're at College of the Canyons. There are 23 California state universities to choose from in California. Very easy transfer. Those transfers are automatic. They're facilitated by College of the Canyons. So the student doesn't have to worry about it very much. And that transfer paperwork goes, all their units from College of the Canyons transfer to that college equal as if they were at the college. There's no difference. It's completely seamless. The California State University system is specifically designed for master's degrees. So if your student is interested in a master's degree, California State University is a great program. The University of California, there's 9 of those campuses. Those are the really famous ones: Berkeley, UCLA, Irvine, Santa Barbara. And those schools are specifically designed for doctoral programs. But you can get a bachelor's degree there also. And then also College of the Canyons transfers throughout the rest of the country. Thousands of universities. So there's no rules against transferring College of the Canyons units to another school, but if you stay in California, it's really easy. All right. This is a picture of a diploma. It says University of California. This one happens to be Irvine Division, Doctor of Philosophy and Visual Studies, but it's just an example of a University of California diploma. It could be Berkeley, UCLA, it could be Irvine. But if you'll notice on here, nowhere on here does it say College of the Canyon. Look closely, come back and review this and really look at this. It says nothing about College of the Canyons. No one knows if you went to College of the Canyons first. We're going to talk about why College of Canyons is great and why you should do College of Canyons first, but no one will know that you did it except for you. Here's a perfect example, Darian. Just a regular guy. He's willing to go to school, do his homework, pay attention. He did well, he tried hard, and he transferred to UCLA. He also got accepted to Berkeley. Jarrett, also not particularly brilliant student, just a regular guy, willing to do the work, willing to pay attention in class, willing to be prepared. He got accepted to UCLA, Berkeley, San Diego, and Irvine. He happened to choose Berkeley. Dana Levine. Now, Dana's a little different. Dana started in high school at College of the Canyons. So by the time she was 19 years old, she graduated from Berkeley. She was also accepted to schools all over the country. Mose Park is a great story. He spoke no English. I mean, I don't know how he even got on the airplane. He showed up at my doorstep. 3 years later, he transferred to Berkeley. Now, he did a lot of hard work. He spent an extra year focusing on English and getting good grades, and he did really well. And he went to Berkeley. So these are not mysteries on how to do this. John Garzon's a great story. He didn't know what he wanted to do. He started College of Canyons in high school just to take some classes. They counted for high school and for college at the same time. So he kind of killed two birds with one stone. Then he transferred to Berkeley. Then he transferred to Harvard and completed Harvard Law. And you'll see more of John if you come to College of the Canyons, because John now works for me. So there's some 2+2 examples and how the protocol works. It's a very normal process. 2 million students are doing it in California alone. Let's talk about money, because some of the reasons for why you would pick College of the Canyons are money. So we're going to talk about fees, living expenses, tuition, kind of everything. We've run all the spreadsheets. We've looked at all the numbers. I've even done a couple of YouTubes on cost that go into more detail, but we know what it costs. And basically the bottom line is it's $143,000. That's the least you can do it for. Maybe a little bit less depending on your lifestyle, but really that's about what it costs. So plan on that. Oh, but if you do a 4-year school, it costs double that. So if you go look over here, 4 years at the UC system, $290,000. So that's living expenses, books, insurance, tuition, everything. So it costs half as much if you go through the 1+1+2. College of the Canyons costs about $5,000 a semester. So that's half of what Cal State University costs, and a lot less than the University of California. So it looks like this. Tuition's $10,000 a year at College of the Canyons. If you go to UCLA, you're going to be charged $10,000 the first year at College of the Canyons, $10,000 the second year at College of the Canyons. Then the tuition goes to $45,000 for the third year and $45,000 for the fourth year, and you graduate. So that's what it's going to cost at UCLA, UC Irvine, UC Santa Barbara, Berkeley, Irvine, all of those schools. If you choose to go to a California State University, you're going to pay $10,000 again with me, $10,000 again with me for the second year, and then your tuition is going to go to $20,000. It's a lot less than the UC system. It's still expensive, but it is one of the least expensive ways to get a bachelor's degree. In fact, you save so much money doing the CSU that really that master's degree, hey, it's right there, and it's cheaper than getting a bachelor's degree from UCLA. And I think the world expects higher level degrees. And so a master's degree from a California State University is going to be really good for you and your career. All right, so that's a little bit about cost. Now let's talk about qualification tests, because man, there's a lot of worry about tests. So here's the list of tests. There are no tests. Now you have to speak English, and you got to prove you speak English. And we'll talk about English, but all the other SATs, what your GPA is, any other placement exams, none of that happens anymore. College of the Canyons is obligated by law to accept all students. Now, that doesn't mean that all students get to transfer. You got to do the heavy lifting. You got to treat school as a job. So your clients that you're talking to as agents have to understand this is not easier than going to UCLA. It's not easier than going to Berkeley. It's a lot less expensive. We're highly subsidized by the state of California, but this is the only test you have to take. So here's the English levels that we expect. So using the CERF criteria, which is pretty simple, we accept a test in any test. We can crosswalk it to any of these CERF levels. B2 and B1, that gets you into our intensive English language program. If you have a B2 level, then you do part ESL and you do part university classes that count towards your degree. If you're a C1 or a C2, then you go straight to English 101 and you take your university classes that apply to your degree. And in order to do this, you either have to finish high school and be any age, or be 18 years old on the first day of class, one of those two things. Now, if you want to start before you even finish high school, we do have a high school program. You have to be outside of the country to do that, or you have to be in a private school in the United States. All right, so we talked about qualification tests. Now let's talk about the agent stuff. I mean, because that's why you're here listening to this. So first of all, we know that you have to learn how to apply to dozens of different schools and all their idiosyncrasies and rules and paperwork and stuff. And so everything I'm going to go over right now, forget it. Okay. This is just to show you how to do it. But when you have a student who wants to come, all you're going to do is send an email. We'll get to that email at the end, but that's it. I have a student wants to go to your school. What do I do? That's all you got to do. We will walk you through every step of the process. That's our job. That's our mission. So here's a copy of the application. It's 4 pages. You fill it out by hand, or you can do it as a PDF. It doesn't make any difference to me. The first 2 pages are just what's your name, what's your address, what kind of visa do you have, all that kind of stuff. The second 2 pages are simple. 1-page essay. That's it. 1-page essay. And I am compelled to accept the student. The essay is not going to disqualify the student. The purpose of the essay is so that I can get ready for the student. What if the student wants to be a baseball player or be in theater? Or what if a student has 3 brothers and sisters they're going to miss? You know, or what if they want to live in a house that has a piano? That's how I'm going to find this out. Now, as an agent, at the bottom of this essay, you're going to write your name of the agency. That's how I know this comes from you. I have the email train also and all of that. This page over here is kind of important because this box right here, that's where you're going to put your company email and your email, because these are the people I can legally communicate to about what's going on with the student. As you know, there's a lot of privacy rules in Europe and a lot of privacy rules in the United States. If you fill this box out, I can talk to you. If you don't fill this box out, I can't talk to you. So fill the box out. Put your email address in there. That way I can tell you, hey, how's the student doing? Doing great, or struggling in calculus, or, is, just got voted into Associated Student Government, what a great student, thank you, all that stuff. All right. After the college ID is received, which happens right away. I try to get a college ID to you in 24 hours, try to get an I-20 to you in 24 hours, try to get that to you as fast as possible. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create their college account so that they have an account at the college, they can get emails and all that. Then they're going to do this online orientation. Everybody has to do it. Doesn't matter what country you come from. It's easy, half an hour, it's online. You sit down at a computer and do it. Not a hassle. Next thing I want them to do is make an appointment to meet with my counselor, because my advisors and my counselors are going to tell that student exactly what classes to sign up for that first semester, depending on what their goals are, what their dreams are, how many classes they want to take right away. Do they want to go slow? Do they want to go fast? They can work it out their own way. We're going to create this academic plan. Really important. And they can do that on Zoom before they even get a visa. They can do that as soon as they get an account set up. And then they're going to get a registration date, and that registration date is going to be in their account. So after a week or maybe a few days, depending on how late in the semester it is, it's going to pop up and say your registration date starts at midnight on Tuesday. Well, at midnight on Tuesday, California time, no matter what time it is there where your client is, they're going to log into their account and they're going to sign up for the classes they have in their academic plan. They can do that before they even go to the visa interview. Those classes will be held for them. Let's say they don't get a visa. They can still take the classes from home maybe, or maybe they want to take only a few. Maybe they want to just go to a different school. Maybe they don't want to go travel abroad anymore. That's fine. They don't, there's all refunds are given. Everything's refundable. It's not a problem. So just, sign up for those classes, get them to do it, sit with them while they do it, learn the process. It's not hard, but you'll seem like you're the genius and they'll really appreciate that. All right. Agent support. So this is really important. I value the support that we provide to agents. Yes, universities all the time have great support programs for students, but this is a support program specifically for agents. And there's a couple of really good characteristics I think you're going to like. So first of all, really easy access to ISP staff. I'm going to give you an email. That email is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We don't always get to every email right away, but we monitor it all the time. It's super easy. We can't wait to talk to you. So you're always going to be able to find us. There's never going to be, I can't find them. Who are those people at that school? That's never going to happen. All right. You always have access to everybody. You also have access to me and my staff on WhatsApp, WeChat, Kakao Talk, Line, Facebook, everything. So you're going to be able to find us. So we have easy access. And I know that that's important because I hear it from agents all the time. The second thing is fast response. We're going to get back to you. You don't have to wait 90 days for an I-20. You're going to get an I-20, hopefully in 9 hours, but maybe it's going to take a little longer. But you know what I mean. We're getting back to you right away. We are also available for co-appointments. So if you have a client who's trying to decide what to do, and sometimes that decision is which agent to use, bring me in. I will make you look good. You will be the expert. I will simply be affirming what you're telling them so that they can feel like they have good third-party verification of the information that they're getting from you. Those are really important things. All right. Some other things we do student progress reports. That shows the grades they got, the classes they're taking, when they're going to transfer, what their major is, has a picture of them on there. We send it to the student every semester. Student can give it to you, and now you know exactly what's going on with your students. All right. I'm also going to send you a Dropbox, or you probably already have it, of pictures and videos and forms and everything on it. All right. As far as contracts, don't worry about that. We'll take care of all of that. That's a different conversation. I don't want to take up your time on that, but we make it really easy. And, you send me one student a year, your contract's valid. You never have to worry about renewal. Contract's good for 5 years. All right. So I think what we've really covered is sort of the nuts and bolts of once the student, trying to get that student to decide to do College of the Canyons or do the 2+2 transfer. Next thing is that visa. We've done a lot of research on visas. There's a lot of rumors out there. You can't get a visa to a community college. A lot of rumors about problems getting visas to some countries. Some countries can't get visas out. Well, a lot of that may or may not be true, but we do know this. A student has to be confident that it's the best decision for them, absolutely the best decision for them to come to College of the Canyons. If they show any kind of hesitancy during that visa interview, they may not get the visa. So they need to be fully informed about the name of the college, College of the Canyons, not Canyons College. It's a dead giveaway. The student has done their homework. They have to be able to say Santa Clarita so they know the city it's in, and they have to know where it is. They're going to want to know, like, where are they going to live? What's the name of the family? Maybe they have a picture of the family they bring with them. They need to be fully prepared. What major are they going to take? Are they going to transfer? What school are they going to transfer to? How are they going to pay for all this? These are all questions that come up depending on what country. So, and depending on what visa officer, there's a lot of variability. So there's easy answers to these questions, and we will help students do interview preparation, or we will help you help them do visa preparation. I think that's even better. So here's a list of the questions that we found right here. You can come back and look at them again. You know, a lot of it is confidence and articulation. If you think about students that have visas to go to Berkeley, of course they get the visa because it's Berkeley, but actually it's the student. That student is an articulate, mature, college-ready person. That's why they got into Berkeley. But what if they want to go to Berkeley, but they're not really ready yet? Well, that's where they come to me first, and then I transfer them to Berkeley. The odds of getting into Berkeley as a junior are way better than the odds of getting into Berkeley as a freshman. So all they have to do is be that confident as if they were going to Berkeley, and they'll do fine. Here is where you can reach me, isp@canyons.edu. Just send an email, ask any question. I'm happy about any question and happy to answer them. Always willing to do a Zoom call with you. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just let us know in advance. We'd love to talk to you. And I hope this answers a lot of questions. I'm sure there'll be more. So we'll learn about what those questions are. And then maybe I'll do another recording with all of those in there too. And we'll really get this so you have a good understanding of how College of the Canyons works. Thank you very much, folks. Good luck.